challenging to come up with a good idea for a project, even more so than actually doing the project itself sometimes. And so one of the things we've discussed as a group is how do we help students come up with better ideas. So today, you may walk away with an idea. You may walk away with the beginning of an idea. Or maybe you just walk away with some strategies of how to approach getting a good idea. And that's what our goal is today. So in terms of our agenda, we have breakfast and the welcome. We're going to talk a little bit about the fair. And we're going to have some of our fair staff talk a little bit about science and engineering. We're going to do a brainstorming activity, an article activity, and we're going to talk a little bit about rules to guide you, and then a project title activity. And if we have some time at the end, we'll do some one-on-one discussions with those who want to discuss further. So again, my goal with you today is to improve the quality of the projects by making you better problem finders. Now that's kind of an interesting idea to think about being a problem finder, because we often talk about what it means to be a problem solver. But really, the problem finding phase, how do you come up with the idea, is really important. And it's something you can't rush. You really need to experience it over time. So for the teachers that are here, if you're asking students to come up with a list of ideas in a short period of time, that's sometimes a challenge for students. And what we're going to do is we'll talk about some strategies on how you can go about the process of encouraging students to find ideas. So we'll do some activities today. And for the teachers, those might be some of the activities you want to try with your students in your classroom to really help them develop their ideas a little more. Okay. So when is the Connecticut Science Fair? It's always good to have deadlines associated with the work you have to do so you know when things have to be done. And by the way, in your folders that you have here, we'll take a little tour of what's in here for you. First of all, there's a science fair book. It's a fall edition. It's the new edition. And it gives you all the basic outlines, what's going on in the fair, how to set up your research proposal, and ideas to help you along. In the packet also, this is the information we're going to be working out of today. So this is parts of the presentation, some of the activities we're going to be doing. I've also included an article for you, The Art of Scientific Ideas. This article actually is not in print yet. It's coming out in print next month in the Science Teacher, which is the National Science Teachers Association journal. But it's about problem finding. It's really no rocket science in this article, but it really gives you some frameworks for both the teachers and the students. There's a section on how you can promote problem finding for students and then for teachers, and then inside there's that same figure that you just saw on the screen. There's a section on coming up with ideas for students, things that might work for you. And then finally, on this side, is the International Science and Engineering Fair Rules and Guidelines. And this is significant because the Connecticut Science Fair feeds into the International Science and Engineering Fair for our high school students. And these rules and guidelines will really help frame what you need to know and what you need to do. So very important guidelines. Sometimes people think the rules are cumbersome. In a sense they are, but at the same time, you can use the rules to guide what you're doing so you know you're making good decisions. So you know it's not a good idea like take mice and microwave them to see if they get more energy by microwaving mice. I think you're going to have them like mouse stew instead. So the fair is March 13th to 17th. It's at Quinnipiac University in Hamden. We take over their campus while the students are all on spring break. That's why it takes place during that time. And that's your ultimate deadline. But we help you along the way. There's some deadlines. Whoops, wrong way. So schools need to be registered by October 30th. That's something the teachers or the administrators can do online at our website. By December 1st, high school students must submit their individual registrations and their research plans. So, if you think about from a school year perspective, from September to December, is when you should be developing the idea. Notice that's a 3-month period. It takes time to develop ideas. Middle school registration is due by February 15th. Everyone's required to submit an abstract. And again, this all takes place online, March 13th. And then you must have your project set up on March 13th, 7:30, in compliance with all our rules. Okay. Now let's think about what the science fair is trying to do. Well, we're providing a forum for students, 7th through 12th grade, to showcase your math, science, and engineering skills. We want you to develop the ability to do work on your own, independently, using those critical thinking skills. And then we're going to recognize your work through awards and opportunities to go even further. Now, even though we're saying we want to develop your individual inquiry skills, that doesn't mean you should be working in isolation by yourself. A student who does a good project manages the project and involves expertise from other people. Gets help. Never forgetting that they're, as the student, in charge of that project themselves. They are the manager. They direct what they want to do, but they don't need to solve all the world's problems on their own. They can get help from people along the way. And that help should be to facilitate what that individual student wants to do, and directed by the student. You need information. I'm sure you all had to register for our workshop. The Connecticut Science Fair website, connecticutScienceFair.org, is the place for all the information. It's our newly designed website, actually designed by a former alumna of the Connecticut Science Fair. She did the redesign of our website for us. Everything you need to make your success is there. And as a matter of fact, many other state science fairs send their students to our website because of its rich information that is present there. The rules, the forms, the deadlines, the results, contact information, it's all there. Please use it as a resource. We work really hard to make sure it's robust and full of lots of information.